What? Vas-y, c'est parti.
10, 9, ignition sequence start.
Good morning, everyone. This is Loretta Stronowski, CEO and founder of Got Spouse Need House. We are an organization that deals with realtors right across the globe. Right now, we provide a resource for you while you're going through your wedding journey. But when you're ready to make that step of buying or selling in real estate, your realtor will give you 10% credit on closing. We appreciate and understand that the wedding process is a little expensive. So while you're going through that, we have this podcast where we find experts across the globe to help you maybe be something that we know that you're doing. So whether it's photography or bakers or wedding dresses, or today we're talking about scents, which is going to be very interesting for me. And I can't wait. So can you guys introduce yourselves and tell us where you are located and what you do?
We are Susan James Fragrances. We are in Los Angeles, and we make custom personalized scents for couples who are getting married.
Wow. So this is not something basically, when I grow up, this is what I want to do for a living. So how did you guys come about, and especially together?
So I'm a creative director, a magazine designer, and Susan's an olfactory artist. She's Danish, and I'm Midwest American. And so I was asked to redesign a wedding magazine out of Michigan. And in the process, they were going to have a party where they were going to have a favor and put a wedding scent in. I was like, we know somebody, let's do a scent. And as we were going to put this wedding scent in there, we realized that we needed to do a Gmail.
Yeah.
And we're like, we needed to create a Gmail. So as we're signing in to do a Gmail, Susan's like, well, what do we do? Let's do Susan. What should we put the first name and what should we put the last name? Well, I've always gone by Jim, but like, let's put James. So she screams out, hey, let's put in Susan James. Susan James. That's pretty sexy. Let's do Susan James.
Sounds very sophisticated.
Oh, it's Susan James.
Yeah.
Thus, the idea was born. And in the scheme of things, we realized in the idea of wedding perfume, wedding scents, if you think about it, every single photograph, and when you get your photos taken, there's a thing called a flat lay. And in every flat lay where you put your invitation and your ring and the card, there's a perfume bottle. And we're like, there's a perfume. And every single wedding, somebody sprays a perfume. Well, that perfume, we're like, well, why do they pick that one? Mm-hmm. And did our research, we realized that that's either something that they decided they wanted because it was personal to them, or they liked the brand of that perfume. They wanted to be associated with it. And we were like, huh. And as we dug deeper, we realized that there's a meaning that could be made because as an olfactory artist, Susan's worked with different,
with scent and memory, and how important scent is for memory and how it brings you back to a certain moment in time. So I was like, it's crucial to have a scent that you're not going to be smelling everywhere else, that you can pinpoint that moment in time and hence go back to that special day with the scent later.
And not just that special day. So like, if I asked you right now to imagine banana bread, what do you think of? You have a memory of banana bread. Or you guys are in the real estate. Everybody has the joke. If you want to sell a house, put in some chocolate chip cookies, right? And that chocolate chip cookie smell makes that house smell amazing. We know that a gas station, if they put the smell of coffee at the pumps, they sell more coffee, right? We know that if you take a scent that you love, you'll be brought back to it. 35% of your memory jumps the learning system and goes back. So if you have a scent that you have picked that's different than something you smell, you can close your eyes and go back to it. So Susan has created these scents, these 8 scents that we have that you pick, and you can use when you pick your dress, when you pick your veil, when you go to have your engagement photos taken.
Hey, sorry to interrupt. When you say you can use it, what do you mean by you can use it?
So we have 8 scents, and then we have created a new scent too that is it's called Nearly Wed. It's an engagement scent. So for your whole, engagement, have a scent. So when you go venue shopping, dress shopping, show the ring off on FaceTime, you will wear the scent and kind of imprint that scent. So it's all about the era of getting.
You intentionally wear it at certain moments so that and not your other go-to, all scents will do, any scent will do it. But if you intentionally wear a scent at a certain time, you'll start to imprint with it. And if you wear it along the way, and the idea is that there's this whole era because the wedding journey is changing. Just like the buying cycle changes. You're like, how long will it take? Well, I'm making a decision. I don't know when that decision is going to follow up. And so you start this process and kind of like at your wedding, who knows what's going to happen? Is it going to rain? Is it not going to rain? That's part of the fun of it. Like, oh, this is going to be great. That will be imprinted in this memory that's inside you. And so,
tell me about do you incorporate that scent into the wedding day with the guests at all? Like, is it on the invitations? Is it what?
We have different packages, and we work with planners or the couple to see what they would like. Would they like to have just a scent for the two of them to share, a one each that they can go back to, later on and wear for anniversary?
We have this joke about, there's this movie, Elle Woods, she sprays her resume to get into Harvard.
Right, yeah.
And it's like, he's like, is this scented? He's like, yeah, it adds a little extra, So, and we laugh about it, but it's like, we recognize it and we don't know what it is, but we're like, oh, it's just this little elevation. And there's something nowadays where that next level something, in the process of the journey of being married, there's a lot of people that have a hook into your decision, like where the venue is and what flowers you have to pick. A lot of times you're like, oh, I want this flower, but it's not in season. And you don't know that yet. So the idea that you could have this thing that you pick that no one else knew that they had a hook in, your vow is one thing, and this wedding scent. But we're actually finding that we're creating a whole new category that everybody knew was there, but nobody knew they could choose.
Right.
This really interesting. Yeah. And it's this next step because like one of the things that is everybody asks us is, do you have candles? What about scenting the room? What about the venue? And we run into this really fine line of there are some people who are very sensitive to scent and very sensitive to smell. So venues are like, ooh, a lot of dress places are like, we don't want to stain the dress. There's a lot of, so we're mindful of our next level is going to be how do we get into scenting the room, which is an accent to the wedding perfume per se for the couple. And then how to make it be like, how do you have the gingerbread with your cake, right? Like the good ice cream goes with something else, has a topping, and they work together. And we're working on that,
Well, can you incorporate that into real estate for me?
Well, that's what we're doing. It's funny when you asked us about this, we started thinking about how we're incorporating it. We just got asked to do an event about the confidence of posing and how brides are like, well, we don't know how to pose necessarily, like we're people. And the confidence that you can have in wearing a scent helps you show up. The calm you have in your home is something part of your scent. The confidence in working with a professional to have your home. I mean, we've bought homes like there's an anxiety that needs to be helped with a human that says, hey, it's okay with whatever you do. We're here for you, what all it is. But if you've never done it before, you don't have that sense of calm.
Yeah. And, I always tell people when I'm listing a home, I just tell them what attracted you to this home, whatever, because whoever buys your home is going to be like you. You know, they're going to like the way the living room is set up or whatever. It's just the way it is. I mean, I've been doing this for 32 years and totally the doppelganger is the next buyer, right? So if you created a scent for the house and had a candle there, it probably would attract the right buyer.
I love that. Yeah.
That's and at that same moment, it's like, what color we as artists, I'm a designer, so a designer, I'm all about tell me the parameters. As a magazine designer, I'm always trying to get you to turn the page or feel something or do something. As an artist, she's creating out of nothing. So we have these really interesting debates about like, well, what color blue is the good color blue? Well, but put that on the fragrance. So our note kit, which is like what other people would call a discovery kit, our note kit is like a swatch sample. So we expect you when you walk into a dress store, there's 8 samples from that designer. Well, most likely you're going to hate 2 of them. If we've done our job right, 2 of these are going to be not for you, right? Because we're giving you a range.
Right. So these scents are already created. They're just picking one that kind of resonates with them.
That resonates.
And because they're ultra fine, they are long lasting. They're the olfactory. So she can tell it better, but she worked with with NASA in this imaginary trip to Mars. And in this imaginary trip to Mars, it takes 9 months, and there's no scent in space. So if you were in your capsule going to space and you wanted to remember Earth, these Earth memories, so like fresh cut grass, horse barn,
desert rain. We made a few different common earthly scents that everybody
corn.
Yeah, exactly. So these things that would bring you back to the earth. Well, when you're working with these kind of like all these chemicals, it's chemistry. Leads us to the thing we get asked all the time. Oh, it's like a scent bar. You come in and we make scents together and we do it. And we have to be like, well, if you go into the Frosty Freeze and there's like 8 things and then you have your toppings and you leave with something to eat, those are all made to mix together. We're like the science class that it can explode and be terrible. And not that it would explode, but it just smells terrible. Like, so we have fridges that they have to dance for months at a time.
Okay.
So she's crafted these things that are very, very subtle and amazing, but they last all day because your wedding lasts.
Sure.
And you want to have each individual try them on because we're all different chemistry. We all have different, or in dry skin.
It's not different on everyone.
Yeah. So it's you wonder, which is why we say when you get our note box, try them on to the gym, doing, your daily life and see how it evolves on your skin.
Like literally go to the grocery store, like go live your life.
Yeah.
And then
smell it. So there is trends in weddings like bridesmaids dresses, flowers. Is there trends in fragrance, in scents?
Well, right now there is a huge vanilla that has been, or gourmand trend that has been going on for quite a while, and then I don't know, getting into more savory, herbaceous scents, we'll see, but there's still, for a long time, it has been very vanilla, kind of a sweeter scents.
Well, vanilla is kind of unisex, right? And I don't know where I read somewhere that men somehow really like vanilla. So yeah, and in real estate, if it's a vacant house or whatever, they tell us to heat up the stove and just put a drop of vanilla on the burner, just because it's a
everybody has a memory
welcome smell.
Yeah, and scent is one of those things. They say you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink because your olfactory knows.
How does the venue play into your business? Whether it's indoor, outdoor, church, whatever, does that have any effect on what they choose?
We have mostly for this Precision James done personalized scent. We have done or before done venues, museums and such, where I have diffused a custom scent into the room. So depending on the size of the room, different kind of or strength of oil and diffuser in there. So that's something that we can do as well. But it's mostly just personalized scents or welcome gifts. We have made different packages. We can do a lot of different things, different sizes, little boxes where we can make a story card for the whole venue, and it could be on the table tape. As in gift boxes, which is done really well.
We worked with one venue that put us on their kind of like their VIP list because we did a custom scent for them for a photo shoot, and it depends on kind of who runs the venue, and they understand the power of the uniqueness. And it's such a thing that for the right couple, for the right creative couple, it's just an elevated thing. There are a lot of couples that they're like, look, we can't tell the difference between a $10 and a $20 bottle of wine. And they just get it. And some people are like, we want to know that the 72 or the whatever vintage bottle, those grapes were important to us. And so this one venue in California was like, we really like that you made this scent for us in this photo shoot. And we want to make sure that we can offer it to our guests as this specialty kind of like white labeled thing for us. And so we keep one that's their scent, if you will.
And is it like in a little bottle that the guests get, or
it's well, there's both. So there's for the people, there's for the couple. But imagine it's a destination wedding and there's this basket that's in your room when you show up, right? There's this thing you open up that has the story, like we met this way, blah, blah, blah. And here's this thing that they can decide to either put on or not put on. Because some people are like, we don't want to have a scent. We don't want to be imposed on. So instead of diffusing into the room and you having to be there, it's something that you decide to. And but this venue was like, we love it. We're going to have these bigger bottles that are engraved. That you decide, I want part of this, give it to me. And then it becomes in the room. And then it's kind of like, it got done, but we didn't do it.
do you find that one, usually men or women or whoever kind of have more of a, is there one sex that's predominantly, I don't know, makes the decision, I guess what I'm saying?
I think so far it has been mostly the women that have done it. Mm-hmm. Although a lot of times previously when I've done fragrances, it's primarily men that are really into fragrances and are collectors, oftentimes that have hundreds of bottles and are really having fragrance groups and talk about scents. And I with perfume talk, the last couple of years, it's known up.
This TikTok thing, are you familiar with perfume talk?
No.
Okay. So a couple of years off. However,
TikTok.
It has blown up. So there is, teenage boys who are wanting, Sauvage, Dior Sauvage, and buying expensive bottles of perfume where parents are like, what happened? You're 13. And so there's a lot of groups where there's some influencers on TikTok that talk about perfume. Lots of them.
Perfume.
Fragrance has become more mainstream to get. Yeah.
So there's this trend. Of course, I have my lived experience, and as I got into this as a creative, I'm like, okay, well, what's this thing all about? And I consider myself somebody who's like, oh yeah, I'm on trend. And then I didn't know this, but Susan's been doing perfume and different brands. Like she had Ankersen, she had Susan Ankersen, she had Pretty, whatever, and she ended up making a perfume for me called Machine Shop. I'm a motorcycle guy, and she made one for me that smelled like this kind of, coming home from the shop, right? That was like a masculine scent, but trying to be clean. And she brought it to me. She's like, women wear something that's very pretty and they almost want to be known for it. But when a man wears a scent and it's a powerful person, they go into a room, a C-level person goes in, and they want you to know that they take care of themselves and they smell like something, but they don't want you to know what it is. They gatekeep and they collect, and they have a closet. They have a room full of their scents, and they don't tell you what it is. Women show off the bottle, men it's behind a door. But men, 85% of the perfume market in the world, or 80,
I don't know how much, but
it's higher skews male than female. And I would never have guessed that. And so our kits are actually not, they're not skewed. We market towards the couple, and they're usually the men. We actually have this thing called the nearly wed man, which is like, how can the man be involved in the wedding should he want to? Because there's a lot of guys that want to, but they just are excluded because they're like, give us your measure and show up, please. But really, there's a lot of wedding planners who there are people that want to be involved, but they don't know how to. And we include them in our note set. Says we are filling these by hand. So if we want this set to be 3 bottles like this and 5 bottles like that, absolutely, because it's about creating this thing. And it's funny that you brought up the dress, the bridesmaids' dresses, because every bridesmaid knows that dress, she's wearing it for you, hon. It's only going to look 80% on her, but she does it as a group. A perfume with those 5 or 6 people will create an accord that will never be smelled anywhere else. It will be something that is the most amazing, beautiful thing that is literally never going to happen again.
Yeah, that's
no matter what in that room.
And does it have a name? Do they name the scent? Or is it just their wedding scent?
Well, right now we have not intentionally kind of not named them. We started just 1 through 8. So there is no affiliation with, like, let's say it's called Rose Garden. Oh, I like rose. So then you would pick that scent just because of the name.
We had a working title and people picked it by the title.
Yeah.
We put it by numbers, and people always pick number 3 because by number 4, your nose went dead. And no matter how we rotated them out, it was always number 3, no matter what the juice was in the thing. Because that's how it works and people get in a hurry. So now we call it a note kit because they're A, B, C through 8, and it's 8 notes like in an octave. And so you can make every piece of music you've ever heard that's beautiful through the notes. And that way it's more like you can't put you don't actually hear music, it's in your head. You don't smell perfume, it's in your head.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
So do you work with the wedding planners? I'm assuming that you do. Like, how do you coordinate with the people that are helping the bride and groom?
Well, we will get on a Zoom with a wedding planner. And since we are not, in a sense, crucial, we're not day off, so it's not like they get the sense months in advance. Most likely they will order a couple of months in advance, and we make it. We can customize, like I said, the story card, or have the bottles with their labels on it, or engrave it however they want it, and then we send it out so they will have it way in advance.
Okay.
We can send out, they will get the kit, the wedding planner, they can smell them together. We've had different where the wedding planner actually, they made modifications to it, which they were wanting some lavender on there, so we can do the modifications. So we are, not crucial in a sense of, the day off. Is it timing right? Is it, the bottles will be there for however many they will have, or just for the couple themselves.
So on that note, if I got engaged this weekend, how far ahead of my wedding should I be reaching out to you?
This weekend.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, so the funny thing is so when we did this magazine, we didn't like the word bride because it was not very inclusive. So we honed in on the word bride. So we honed in on the word nearly wed. So you're nearly wed. And that just kind of includes it all, right? You're nearly wed. And so nearly wed is so in these 8, right? These 8 are very niche. They're amazing. They're beautiful, and you'll like them or you don't, or kind of. We found one. She nailed one that everybody loves. I mean, you give it to people and they just love it. It's like, and it's nearly wed. So it's one that we're calling it it's kind of like our intro. It's like this one is the one that gets you into the others. But it's also the reason why everybody loves it is because it smells like what everybody loves. And so since it smells like what everybody loves, it's great, but it's like everything. So it's beautiful. It's very approachable. It's very easy, but it's called nearly wed. So that's the one you get first. That's your engagement one.
Okay.
And then you get the kit, Then you get the notepad and you're like, oh, I want it to be like this and I want to be like that. But that nearly wed one is wearable and you will wear it and get compliments like crazy.
Wow.
And from everyone, like people are like, whoa, it's insane. And so that's the one where like, okay, but since it's like, if you really want to be specific, if you really want to be unique and not everybody has it, if there's 6 weddings this summer and you want your flower arrangement or your chair arrangement or your venue to be yours and unique and memorable, you do something special. That's why you have your wedding choices the way you have your wedding choices, and you want to be remembered for how you are, your creativity. Your scent is the same way. And let's face it, when you get out of that elevator and somebody says, oh, I know she's here in the building because I smell her.
Right.
Somebody leaves that summer and says, I remember that wedding because this way it smells. There are people who are like, I want them to remember my wedding that summer because of the way it smelled. Well, that nearly wed won't do that, but one of our notes will. Nearly wed will be like, oh man, she smelled amazing. I can't put my finger on it, but it was amazing.
So on that note, do you do other than weddings? Do you just do like customized for people who want that? Say like a realtor? Oh, yeah, we're around people all the time. And it's like, oh,
we're 2.5 years into this, and one of our things is we're still prototyping. Like we have found 3 different downlines. We just did this thing called Confidence, where we're working with people who are like not just realtors, but the idea of like we did they asked Susan to do a birthday party where 150 favors were done, and they asked her to take one of her lavenders, right?
Yeah.
And they loved one of our lavenders, but they were like, we want it to be a different lavender. And how did they explain it?
It was number 3, which is a kind of a rose. It's a fresh rose scent. And she had an affinity. She liked purple. She loved lavender. So we did a customization. I made 3 different versions of it and sent it back and forth. And she picked one. So it was very customized for her. So everybody for her 60th birthday party got it. And
wow.
Each place setting. And so they can go back to that scent that nobody else has and be with her again, so she loved it. Yeah.
And so I have a story about that. So the story is the way, because I was sitting next to it and listening to it, and the story of how she went about it. Of course, the lady was ecstatic. Well, we now have 2, what we'll call dead trees. We have 2 others that are amazing, but she didn't pick them. So all of a sudden we have 2 new custom scents that are not in our kit that are amazing, but just sitting there because we have batches that then can be made.
Right.
Well, if somebody comes to us and wants something that, like, say they're on the East Coast and they're standing on the pier and they're like, I want it to smell like the ocean right now, and they explain it to Susan and she makes one, right? My joke is that they're not actually smelling the ocean; they're smelling the pelican stuff on the rock. It's not, but they're associating it, right? Because that's what they're smelling, having this experience.
Right.
She has this olfactory art saying this is the experience they're having. So the one that they picked really was like, she has 20 something roses that we've all been fed. This is rose. It's not rose. It doesn't smell like chocolate doesn't smell like chocolate. So, like vanilla doesn't smell like vanilla, but she knows that, but you can't say that to a normal human you know what I mean? Just like it doesn't work that way. But the translation through her is that way. So we have these extra things that we are in the process of working with people like you who might want something that we have in the can, if you will, that's amazing, that can be almost not white labeled, but like taken on as yours, that is ready and awesome. That could be like, this is mine. That can be used. That's like, we just did something for confidence. That's the embodiment of a corporate confident person wearing it as confidence.
So are you saying, because I'm in Mexico, you're going to make one that smells like tequila and tacos?
Which part? Well, early tequila or late tequila, we'll have to get specific.
Earlies and then tacos. So I heard you say send. So does that mean a lot of your clients are not local where you are?
No one's local.
Yeah, not really.
where that's all around.
So how do you do that? You're not in front of the person smelling, so you just send them a little.
Well, so when they start off is the 8 scent of the note box, and then they pick whichever one maybe they just pick one done from that. But sometimes they have, let's say, they got engaged in Mexico, so let's add a little Mexican flair to that scent, and then I will send them a couple of different variations, and they can pick from there, and we can kind of go. So that could go on for a long time. But we offer customization on the 8.
We do this. We get on a call. We start talking about what do you feel? What do you do? What are you thinking? What's it smell like? What's it taste like? What's it be like? All that stuff. And then she takes it and translates it. Growing up in Denmark is one of those things that's like, it's got a lot of summer and a lot of winter. So the Danish design is just in her. Like this hygge, that warm love language is in her. And so she translates it. She's very like humble. So it just comes out.
We say out the nose, he's the mouth.
She the nose, I'm the mouth.
I love that.
Or if she's the nose, I'm the tail, and I just wag, right? And so, she expresses in scent. And I can get you to say, I want the rock salt, not the other salt. And she knows how to make that come through in one of these ways. But you put two of these things together and they create this third that's magic. And magic in your nose is different to you and when it's on you.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why we send 3 and you try it and you're like, ooh. We had somebody, we actually weren't even selling them singularly until we gave away a set at a Christmas party as a gift when we were just started. And a woman called us and was like, I want to buy a bottle of number 2. And we're like, why? And she's like, I was doing what you said. I was wearing it all day. And all of my friends were like, what is that? You smell amazing. And she was like, what are you talking about? She's like, I won this kit at my Christmas party. And it was because she was like, my chemistry has changed. And again, I have my lived experience. I did not know this happened.
Like try on a different one every day and found that number 2.
That's what we make you do. We make you wear all 8 all day. And one day she was like, her friends were like, you smell amazing. And she hadn't checked in on her chemistry. She's been wearing the same perfume for 15 years. To her and everybody else, it smelled the same. But this one resonated. So on our website, we faked the labels and now you can buy it because we don't have labels because the label that we would give you has your name on it, not a one.
Right.
So we're just kind of like, oh.
So we have now, you can buy a sample of number 1 through 8 on our website. And if you like it for $10, then you can buy a bottle of it. And that's what they do. Like, people will be like, this is amazing because it's a perfume too. We forget that people just like perfume.
Yeah.
Not just a wedding perfume, just like you. Like, I'm a person in the world and I want to have this for my thing. We have boutiques that are like, I want to have my boutique smell like something. I want to give them something else. I want to up level because I care about something special. And we're like, we want to service you. How can we do that? How can we make it for you? And
so, stupid question, but are pets like, do people say, does my dog like this scent or whatever? I'm a big dog lover. So what's your experience with anything like that?
Well, we don't do scents for pets.
But I mean, has a bride or said, my dog likes this one, or do you know what I mean?
That has not happened yet.
We did have a concept though to do, we do own the URL Dog Aromas. Because when we first started this, I was like, we had a friend who has a little dog and was like, we should do dog aromas, like where you have scents for your dogs.
Totally.
Totally, right?
For sure.
The dog.
Holding that, especially.
Eat so many things, like.
So speaking on that note, are you looking, like you said, the dog aromas, are you looking at other kinds of things that you could expand into? Like the house. I have one in my condo, the aura ones that have the different scents, like sort of, they go into the air slowly or whatever. And everyone says, oh, your condo always smells like a hotel.
Yeah. Yeah, we have like diffusers like aromatherapy, essential oils, or like there's a bunch of
candles. Well, so the challenge with there's a candle, basically the natural people ask us all the time for candles, room scents, the sticks, all those things. The challenge with candles is there's a flame point. And the candle, there's the specialty stuff we do, there's just a technical problem with making a candle out of the specialty stuff we use. And it's just a bigger thing. And not that we don't want to do it. So our candles are going to be specific. We're in the process, but it's a specific, it's not as custom. And our stuff is small batch. It's kind of like there's only so many grapes for that vineyard that year. And when they're gone, they're gone. So it's like, we'll be able to make that wine again, but those materials that we get there's only so much of it. So candles, you need like a whole tanker or whatever. And that's just not how we work right now. So we have like nearly wed, definitely candle can be made with that nearly because it's so amazing.
Yeah.
But it's a different world. But at that same level, like in the corporate world, we want to have corporate scents. And the realtor thing, how we would do a scent for that it's an idea. Those are all in the same world. But we actually are in the process of doing a newsletter and a magazine, a wedding perfume magazine that would be the voice of the wedding perfume idea, that if all the people who are creating memories for weddings in the same idea of what a wedding perfume could do, that brings together the voices of the people and the things that do it. And that's the next step, because I'm a magazine person. So it makes sense that the editorial, but something that's like an online and a print, we don't know how to do it yet. It's new. But product wise, we just want someone who the week after the honeymoon is over, we hear it all the time. Somebody asks, "Hey, what was your favorite memory of your wedding?" And they say to us, "You know what? I don't really remember a thing. It happened so fast." And we know that if they spray one of our Susan James, they get brought back to something, that moment their dad gave them away, that moment that somebody, their friend did something. And then, I wish I would have known about you before I got married. Right. And so we're trying desperately to get that word out so that pain is alleviated ahead of time. It's not necessarily expensive. They just have to know in advance. But like,
can you talk about the costs a little bit?
Oh, sure. Well, that's the thing, is like, it depends on the size of your wedding. My mom's best friend, her daughter had 24 bridesmaids because she was on a soccer team, and then when they have 150 different people because they have an Indian wedding, they all get 3 different scents on 3 different days at 3 different things. It's a whole different ball of wax. Or if it's a destination where they take over an island, we had somebody came to us, they wanted to take over an island and have 70 different people with so all of those are different. But if you want to, from the elopement where you get 100 mil for you, it can be as small as $500 or $600.
Okay.
With one scent that you get you get the note kit, you fall in love with one. We start here, and that's beautiful. And it can go as high as, $2,000 for a small set for hidden. But there's a gifting aspect of, let's say you want to build a bridge with someone in your family that, like, my mother-in-law, I want to give her something that's like, I want you to be a part of this celebration, and we need to have a bridge, and I can give you something that's going to be a part of this for all of us. That's something that you didn't even know you could do. Mm-hmm. And it's worth this extra, one less bouquet on a table somewhere. That's where the wedding planner helps the couple. They kind of, I call it bird dogging. They bird dog the right couple that says, hey, this person, it's important to them to have memory versus ostentatiously extra flower that's going to be either gifted or thrown away the day after.
Right.
And you understand that this is important to them.
And so, do they get to order refills?
So, yeah. So, that's the thing, is like we have the mix. So we hope that they have whatever they need. It's not like they can't ever have it again. We know the batch. It's just more that it's not going to be out there in the mainstream. Like you won't run into someone when you get out of a cab in Vegas. Someone's going to be wearing the same thing, and no, your Aunt Lynn is not going to be able to pick it up at duty free. It's just, that's not going to happen. These other scents are amazing. We do this thing when we go on road trips. We stop at every single little store, every single place that you can find. that somebody got rid of when Aunt Bee dies, the mirror of her stuff goes somewhere. And that little tar in the bottom of those old perfumes, she brings back and smells them. And we ran into a guy and he was like, look, I find these things all the time. And, I want to be able to know if it's good or bad. Well, it's like, help me finish the story. I'm talking about the guy we met.
Up north?
Yeah.
Well, I love going into the stores and looking for vintage stuff because certain fragrances, they're not made anymore. And just for the fun of it, for me, vintage scents were made. So this man that was the owner of this store, he had gifted his girlfriend on actually a trip to Mexico. Bought her a very expensive perfume that she loved. And she was wearing it all night, but she also had too much tequila and got very sick. So now she does not want to wear this perfume anymore because it had the memory of that night when she got very sick.
The first day.
So, yeah.
A $500 bottle of perfume she wore once and can't wear it again because she got so sick in Mexico on tequila.
Oh, wow.
So there was two sides, like either it's a beautiful, feeling you want to see it, or we may not want to remember other events, So, yeah.
So that my grandma always used to wear I think it was white diamonds.
That's Liz Taylor, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean I'd go into her bedroom and that was just the smell, right? So is there an opportunity for something for, funerals of that reminds you of that person?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. It's, it can be very comforting. I mean, there are certain things that scent can do, for being, for memory. So if your dad just passed, or a loved one, smelling a piece of clothing with that scent will bring you back, a lot of memories from.
Is that something that you guys can incorporate into part of your business?
Well, I think like if you have a scent specifically from a loved one who has passed, the scent that they wore throughout their life, like you say, wet shoulder with your mom, that will be the scent that they had. And I have that from my grandma. I remember the scent of my grandma, my mom, so whatever if they had a scent that they wore a lot, that's what you will, be reminded of them from that scent.
It's funny that you say that. We actually did a on-site event. We do these things where we go and we set up our scents and we talk to people about, we have them smell and they do their memories. And we did one at an elder skilled nurse or
Retirement.
Very
super high end,
because there's also a link between Alzheimer's, memory care, and scent. Just like music can bring you back if somebody bring about. You think there's nothing there, but a music or a scent will bring, their neurons back. And so we had an event and it was just interesting to see some people live up when they were like, oh, all of a sudden they were back in, old Hollywood or, like places that remember.
We actually had a gentleman and he's coming tomorrow to rebuild a scent. He wants to recreate a scent that he has just a little of that reminds him of somebody that he wants to try to rebuild. And of course, one of the challenges is, and this isn't really widely known, but like you have this scent that you're like, man, it doesn't smell the same. Well, they'll change it because they can't use those materials anymore. Materials are then banned or where they can't get them. And so even if somebody wanted to get number 5 or whatever, it just isn't the same.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like this fleeting thing that is part of your, just like things. And, photographers, they come to us and they're like, we wish we had what you had, because every single person, if you smell something, everybody closes their eyes. You just do when you smell something.
Right.
And it's because your brain knows that it's coming through this other system and it's in you.
It's like an emotional capsule, like a time capsule, but also an emotional capsule.
Yeah.
You can kind of feel what you felt or remember names or something when you all of a sudden brought back to a moment.
But it's like you're like a song, you just can't not have a and the thing about scent is it gives you a feeling. Like when you get a dopamine hit from a scent, Like it's a thing.
Absolutely. That's cool. Every day of your work must be new and exciting.
What? Yes. Yes.
In many ways.
In so many ways.
I love how you said that she is the
Nose.
nose and you're the mouth. But I would rephrase it in you ask the questions to them and she listens to what their answers are. Right?
The smart one. You know. And the thing is we just I'm super outgoing and she's Danish. And so she's just very calm and like, well, and
so that's why you're a good team, right?
yeah, I'm from Missouri, right? We had to, like jump wood, carry water, right? That's what we do.
Now, for people that are watching or listening, how do they get in touch with you? And we will post this after the show.
Yeah, you can go on our website, which is susanjamesfragrances.com. We also are sharing behind the scenes and in our stories on Instagram, a little bit on TikTok, not as much, but yeah.
At Susan James Fragrances.
At Susan James Fragrances on social media.
Everywhere.
Primarily on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for today. It was so informative. I learned so much, and I'm sure everyone else did too. You guys have a great rest of your day and a fantastic weekend coming up.
Thank you so much.